Welcome back to the Caravan channel and our 2015 tow car special. Without further ado, let's hand back to our chief tester David Motton, who's been sampling the luxurious new Volvo XC90. The Volvo XC90 is in the vanguard of the new breed of big 4x4s. It's lighter, more sophisticated and more fuel efficient than before, but is the new XC90 also a better car to tow with? To put that to the test, we've hitched up to an Eldest Crusader with a mass in running order of 1,642 kilos. It's heavy enough to give the Volvo's new engine a stern test. In place of the old car's 5-cylinder diesel engine, the new car has a 4-cylinder engine. It's very efficient, returning excellent fuel economy figures. We achieved 26.1 mpg towing with the Eldest, but the downside is that it sounds rather mundane compared with the 6-cylinder engines fitted to many rivals. It may deliver better fuel economy than most big SUVs, but the Volvo certainly isn't underpowered. With 347 pounds-feet of torque to call upon, the XC90 pulled the Eldest from 30 to 60 miles per hour in 10.5 seconds. One or two rivals may be even quicker, but we can't see many caravanners feeling shortchanged by that kind of performance. The big Volvo matches speed with stability. It feels unshakable at the legal limit, and in our lane change test, the Volvo gripped hard and never felt as if the Caravan was about to push it offline, helped by firmly controlled suspension. Steel springs are standard, although for an extra £2,150 you can opt for the air suspension fitted to our test car. This improves comfort, although the ride still isn't as supple as the Land Rover Discoveries. The drive mode control allows the driver to adjust the suspension, along with other systems like the steering, gearbox and throttle. We found comfort mode best suited the XC90's urbane character. Inside, the Volvo is well made, beautifully designed and very comfortable. There's lots of room to stretch out in the first and second rows. Seats 6 and 7 are a bit of a squeeze, but kids should be comfortable enough. Even with all the seats upright, there's enough room in the boot for most weekly shops. With the third row folded away, there's lots of space for holiday bags. The XC90 is quick, stable and impressively economical. It's practical and well made too. The engine may lack character and the ride isn't as comfortable as a Land Rover Discoveries, but otherwise there's no doubt the new Volvo is one of the best of the new wave of big 4x4s. Double cab pickups like the new Mitsubishi L200 lead a tough life. Monday to Friday they're workhorses, but at the weekend they're family cars. And if the owner happens to be a caravanner, they have to tow well too. The new L200 Mitsubishi promises is better at all these different roles. With a curb weight of 1,935 kilos, including 75 kilograms for the driver, and a legal towing limit of 3,100 kilos, there's not much it won't tow. We pulled a swift Elegance 570 with a mass in running order of 1,544 kilograms. There's a 2.4 litre engine under the bonnet with 178 brake horsepower and 317 pounds-feet of torque. It feels a little bit flat at very low revs, but there's plenty of mid-range muscle, enough to tow the Swift from 30 to 60 miles per hour in 14.8 seconds. As well as being strong enough for heavy-duty towing, it's quite a refined engine by pickup standards at least. It does grumble away a bit, but it sounds a lot more subdued than the engine in the old L200. Mitsubishi's official figures suggest the engine is a lot more fuel efficient as well as quieter. The pickup achieves 42.8 mpg on the combined cycle, easily bettering most rivals. Towing on A roads and motorways, we achieved 24.4 mpg. That figure was achieved in four-wheel drive mode. Mitsubishi's Super Select 4x4 system uses this rotary control to switch between two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive at speeds of up to 62 miles per hour. There are also two low ratio modes, very useful for serious off-roading. On tarmac, the L200 is a more stable tow car than the old model. It helps that the steering is less vague than before. That said, a lot of arm twirling was still needed to complete our lane change manoeuvre, and we could feel some pushing and shoving on the fastest runs. Inside, the cabin feels better finished, and there's more space than there used to be. Top spec models like this Barbarian are chock full of standard equipment, including leather upholstery, dual zone climate control and satellite navigation. As well as a long list of toys, utility hasn't been forgotten. The rear of the cabin has enough space for adults to get comfortable, and there's a 1,045 kilo payload. Vehicles with an automatic gearbox can carry an extra 5 kilos. It would be wrong to pretend that Mitsubishi has eliminated the compromises inherent in such a multi-purpose vehicle, but the new L200 is much easier to live with than most rivals. It makes a decent fist of towing too. Make a list of the things you might want from a tow car, and the SEIP Leon Experience has most of them. You get four-wheel drive, a punchy diesel engine and plenty of space for all your holiday luggage. Is the SEIP as capable in practice as it appears to be on paper? To find out, we've matched the SEIP to a Swift Expression 554, weighing 1,197 kilograms. That's an 81% match for the SEIP, which weighs 1,484 kilos, including 75 kilograms for the driver. The legal towing limit is 2 tons. From the first mile, the Leon Experience feels like a capable tow car. We're testing the less powerful version with 148 bhp. The top spec engine has 181 bhp. We certainly don't feel shortchanged. It's torque rather than power that really counts when towing, and the SEIP's 2-litre diesel has plenty. 250 pounds-feet to be precise. That's enough to pull the Swift from 30 to 60 miles per hour, as you might when joining the motorway, in 11.5 seconds. Once up to the legal limit, the SEIP feels like it would happily stay there all day. There's very little movement at motorway speeds, which makes the Leon Experience a confidence-inspiring car for long-distance towing. The SEIP can handle itself in an emergency too. Pushed hard in our lane change test, the Experience cornered hard and stuck to its line, even when the Caravan began to move around behind it. Dry conditions during our test made life relatively easy for the Leon, but four-wheel drive will come into its own in bad weather, if you need to make a hill start, or if you're staying on a farm campsite. Inside, the Leon Experience will be familiar to anyone who has driven the Leon ST on which it's based. For the most part, that's no bad thing. The driving position is comfortable with plenty of adjustment, and the controls and switches are easy to use. The Lux Pack fitted to our car gives a more upmarket feel, with black leather upholstery and electric adjustment for the driver's seat. There's reasonable passenger space in the back, although the otherwise similar Skoda Octavia Scout has noticeably more rear legroom. Boot space is impressive though, with a 587-litre capacity with the seats upright. Lower the back seats and load all the way up to the roofline, and that increases to 1,470 litres. So, is the Leon Experience as good as it appears on paper? Well, aside from a rather firm ride and slightly less rear legroom than in some rivals, yes it is. This four-wheel drive SEIP is a very capable all-weather tow car.
Well, I'm afraid all of Motti's screen hogging means that's just about all we've got time for this episode.
Don't forget, you can keep up with us on Facebook and via our website, and in the next episode, I'll be back with another new tow car.
But if, like me, you've had quite enough of Motti, then stay tuned because in just a few minutes you can watch the Motorhome channel. Until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.